All right, today we're going to talk about OSD profiles in Betaflight 4.0. Okay, so one of the new features in Betaflight 4.0 is OSD profiles. So if you download the Betaflight 10.5 configurator, and if this is after the stable release of the configurator, you can just go to the GitHub page, and I'll drop the link below where you can download and install it. If it's prior to April 1st, and maybe even a little bit after that, you'll probably have to grab it from the Jenkins website. I'll drop that link as well. And if you're on a Windows user, you can download the Chrome version. I have a video on how to grab the Chrome version of it that I will post in the upper right hand side here, and you can again check that out. I guess it would be this side, yeah. So as you can see, you have OSD profiles now, and what you can do is check on different features in the different profiles. You have up to 3 profiles you can have. One of the things you have to keep in mind is, at least the version I have, which I believe is the latest as of the master, and this could change before the stable release, that each item that you check, it can only be at that same location for each profile. So if your RSSI is up here in profile 1, it has to be up there in profile 2. If you'd like check it on for profile 2 and then move it, when you go back to profile 1, it's going to be moved to that location. Makes a lot of sense actually, because you should be training your eyes to look to the same locations for the same data, so you kind of should have them all in the same profile. And you can do things like, basically the biggest thing I think this is useful for is you have some GPS in your quad, and when you're doing some maybe testing, or maybe you're doing some PID tuning, or maybe when you're just doing some acro or racing, you'd have one profile. But then if you're going to do if you have a GPS on there and you want to do a little bit of longer range flight, you might want to have different data. So I've kind of set that up for that. So you can see here, this is kind of my testing profile, my debugs up top. I have my stick overlays, which is another cool feature. Stick overlays you can add on to there, and just as you're moving your sticks, you can see the sticks on the screen. Record that with your DVR, bingo, right there. And if you can see, if I can drop this down to profile 2, well, then the data that's up here that's the same stays in the same position, but then I'm kind of in GPS mode now, right? So I can have my latitude and longitude, have my DVR on, so if I'm going a little farther out and something goes wrong, I at least have the lat and long there on my DVR. I have my distance, my direction, my compass, and then my number of satellites. So I wouldn't want to see that normally if I'm just flying in proximity, but if I'm going longer range, switch over to that profile 2. What's great about this feature is you can switch in flight. Now, it's not really apparent how to do that right off the bat. At least it wasn't for me. So I'm going to show you how to do that. My first inclination was to go to modes, but it's not in modes. It's an in-flight adjustment. So if you go to in-flight adjustments right here, then you can see I have it kind of set up already. You'd have to enable one of the in-flight adjustments. I'm going to use aux4. And aux4 for me is a 3-position switch. So if I'm just going to go over to the receivers tab and kind of show you that. So 3-position switch, aux4. This is in the default tick all the way up, or the switch all the way up position, switch all the way in the middle, switch all the way down. So you can see you have 3 different positions there. Back to adjustments here. I'm going to use that switch, and then you can see as I move that around here where that's going to move to. So I'm going to span the whole graph here with this slider, and that essentially means that when it's at 1,000, it's going to be profile 1. When it's at 1,500, it's profile 2, and when it's at 2,000, it's profile 3. The big thing you need to do here is make sure you select this drop down, and let me move this over here because I know my picture is going to be in the way. You're going to select this drop down here, and then you're going to choose OSD profile selection. Put that back. Then you can hit slot 1 and aux4 here again. Make sure you hit save. So you can check out, there's a lot of new elements in here. I think the coolest one I've seen so far is the stick overlays. I really like that. But there's a number of things for GPS, timing. You can have the time show from your TRANS radio, which would be the actual time. And distance to home, just compass. There's just a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even know what's all new. I'd have to look down through to compare, because some of the stuff I might have just said might have been there for a while. I'm not keeping track. Same in the stats screen. So check them out. They have great descriptions for them all, and obviously you can put it up on the screen and just check, just see what's new there. So to see it switch, it's really as simple as, once you have that set up, you can just flip your switch and then you can see the new OSD information come up from the other screen, and then go ahead and switch it off if you wanted to as well. So it's once you have it set up, it's very simple. Okay, well, special thanks to everybody that worked on the OSD additions to Betaflight 4.0. You can see in here, if you go in to the pull requests, PRs, OSD, I just typed as a keyword, milestone, Betaflight 4.0, and you can look at open or close. There was 85 closed pull requests for changing and refactoring and adding things to the OSD. So you can go through there and see everything and see who was involved in a lot of this stuff. Okay, well, that's it. Thanks, everybody, and I hope this helped.